Hello and welcome to my first TOK video of the year, and the focus of this TOK video is the new exhibition task. Given that the task is new, myself and other teachers I expect are really trying to work out how best to communicate the requirements of this task to the students, as well as helping them meet the assessment criteria as prescribed by the IB. Therefore, this video really comprises both practical advice in terms of what to do in order to succeed in this task, and also my perceptions of what are the theoretical ideas behind such a task. The exhibition is really an IB internal assessment. The focus of this internal assessment is that you answer one of the 35 prompts, which are essentially knowledge questions. And you do this in the context of 3 objects you choose. Therefore, at the end of the process, you will essentially be curating an exhibition, these 3 objects, in answer to that question. The other important thing to remember is that accompanying the exhibition is a 950-word report, which is critically important because this report is where the grades will be awarded. Finally, it's important to remember that your answer to that IB prompt needs to be focused towards one of 3 themes. The first, the compulsory unit, knowledge and the knower, and then the other 2 are the optional units, which would be knowledge and religion, politics, indigenous knowledge, and the 2 that we've chosen in our school, technology and language. Therefore, functioning as a bit of a diagram or a metaphor, I've got this triangle here, and the 3 things that you really need to be focusing on. 1, the prompt. Then on the left side, you've got those 3 objects there. On the right, you need to be linking it to TOK theory, in particular, those 3 themes. If you accomplish all of those requirements and put it then into the 950-word report, which is clear and well written, I don't really think you can go far wrong. Before moving on to more of the details of the exhibition, I think it's important to really think about what is the theory that lies behind this exhibition task. First of all, we need to remember that theory of knowledge, or TOK, is really about what do we know and how do we know it. So it's fundamentally about knowledge. The important thing here is not to confuse knowledge with reality, or not to confuse knowledge with the way things really are. Knowledge is how we understand the way things are. So if we take physics and thinking about why do objects fall to the ground, you could apply different frameworks to explain that phenomena. The framework of Newtonian physics, for example, or the framework of Einstein's theory of relativity, and they both explain that phenomena in a different way. Therefore, for me, the objects are representing the phenomena, and the knowledge question, the prompts, are really where the theoretical element is. And TOK is about those 2 things working together and how they relate. And therefore the exhibition is really a demonstration of that relationship. The other thing to be aware of is that the TOK course is very interested in perspectives and the influence that has on knowledge. Now, in different areas of knowledge, the influence of perspectives and subjective opinion can be quite different. In mathematics, for example, knowledge is very objective and it is the same for everybody. However, in the areas of knowledge such as the arts, as well as connected to the theme of ethics, the subjective and the personal opinion have a far greater influence. However, that's not to say that knowledge is completely relative and different for every individual, because even in the arts and in the area of ethics, personal knowledge claims are shaped and formed by the consensus view, as well as more accepted or even objective criteria that are used to justify and explain those knowledge claims. Therefore, with regard to your choice of objects I really do think it's valuable to choose objects that have personal significance to you, because that allows you to discuss and negotiate the kind of tension that exists between subjectivity and objectivity, personal knowledge and shared knowledge. Just to talk about the TOK theory and the reason why I think that you should really be including themes from the course in your report. TOK as a subject, in my opinion, it takes a lot from a grand and long history of philosophy. Therefore, it's really important that you do use themes from knowledge and the knower and two of those optional themes to frame your discussion and frame your answers using the context of the objects to the prompt. And then it goes without saying really that the report needs to be well written with precise language and that you choose your words assiduously. I think it's also very important to think about the skills that are being required to succeed in this task. TOK is not an exam-based course, so therefore the ability to recall information is definitely not being assessed. On the other hand, I think the skills that the exhibition task is really focusing on is that of analysis and creativity. Analysis in the sense that you need to be able to answer the question, making very clear links to the objects and to the three themes. So you could do that by categorizing, theorizing, and explaining. The other key skill is that of being creative. The exhibition is requiring you to choose your objects carefully, adding to that the personal element. Therefore, it is really calling for something that is original, some new thinking, and that could be different and innovative. Therefore, I would take that challenge with both hands and really run with it as far as you can. So as a quick summary, I've prepared this checklist of 4 points that you really want to be meeting to consider that your work is going to meet the requirements of the exhibition task. The first, make sure that you answer the prompt directly and clearly. Second, make sure that your objects are specific and ideally personal. With regard to the objects being specific, it should not be possible to replace one of your chosen objects with another object and your answer to still be consistent. A good example of this is on the screen here, and they chose hieroglyphics as their object to illustrate their answer. What the IB is suggesting is because those Egyptian hieroglyphics could be replaced by Sumerian cuneiform, then that object lacks the highest level of specificity. So try and choose objects that are really specific to your answer to the prompt. And then the other 2 points are really with regard to TOK theory. So first, make sure that your answers are pitched to 1, possibly 2 of the 3 themes. And the other, really try and make use of the TOK key concepts. I'm recommending my students refer to at least 1 or 2 of those concepts in their answers, and maybe also the methods in terms of the how do we know. Now, just to finish, I've got a couple of examples here with regard to the prompt. What are the challenges raised by the dissemination and/or communication of knowledge? The first example here has chosen the Gutenberg printing press, and therefore there are clear links here both to the technology unit and the language unit. In my view, this is an average response. The respondent has made several good points. However, where I think it fails, it does not explicitly attack the question, in particular that word challenges. To explain this a bit further, I've got a second example that I think is far better. Now, this answer, I think, builds on the good things of the answer with regard to the Gutenberg press, but takes it to the next level. And the reason why it does that, it explicitly explains the answer to the question. The problem with the Gutenberg answer is those inferential links, those analytical links, were left to the responsibility of the reader. Therefore, this is a better answer because the student or the respondent is demonstrating exactly what their answer is to the prompt and how the object demonstrates those ideas. And the real key to seeing where this analysis is evident is in the second paragraph, as highlighted here. That link between the theme of knowledge and language and that top concept of interpretation is right there in the text. Moreover, this point about language being open to interpretation and this being a challenge when it comes to disseminating and communicating knowledge is emphasized again in the middle section of this second paragraph. So that really concludes my understanding of the TOK exhibition task. I would just like to say that in my view, the theory of knowledge or TOK course is demanding. Therefore, you will get out of it what you put in. So spend time thinking carefully about the different ways that you can answer the prompt or the knowledge question, and then look for creative, analytical ways to link your ideas in answer to that prompt to the objects, making sure to frame those, especially considering the concept of the knowledge framework in the knowledge and the knower unit, to frame those in terms of the themes and concepts that are covered in the TOK course. So, as always, if you like the video, please subscribe and don't forget to smash the like button.